Right now on the Democratic side of the ticket, we have several really great people running for president, and then we've got a lot of people who are still in this race for God only knows what reason, who really should drop out because they have no chance of actually winning an election. And I know there's lots of polls right now showing, hey, even a centrist like Biden can beat Donald Trump. Just like all those polls said Hillary Clinton was going to beat Donald Trump, right? So maybe not put as much stock into those. What we should instead put some stock in right now is Thomas Piketty. Piketty, who you may remember had the 2013 book called Capital in the 21st Century, now has a new paper out. And excuse me here, but this paper is called the Brahmin Left versus Merchant Right, Rising Inequality and the Changing Structure of Political Conflict. Yes, that study is a mouthful, but to boil it down to its most basic components, this new study, the new data, which was actually 70 years worth of data that Piketty looked at, is telling us something very clear. And that is that a centrist Democrat cannot win the race for president here in the United States. And here's why. Decades ago, it used to be that the well-educated upper crust voted for Republicans. You know, the college-educated, white-collar job type, those were solidly Republicans in this country decades ago, while as the rural working-class, non-college-educated people were Democrats. Well, guess what? That paradigm has shifted here in the United States today, and part of it is because of what Republicans have been able to do, how they've convinced those non-college-educated working-class voters to vote Republican, because they have painted liberals as some kind of elitists, out of touch with the working class, which is in and of itself laughable. But they've done it, and they were successful. Think back to the 2004 election, when you had homegrown Texas boy George W. Bush standing up against that ultra-wealthy, possibly billionaire, John Kerry, living up in Massachusetts in his mansion with his Ivy League education. George W. Bush also had an Ivy League education, but they painted him as John Everyman. You know, the guy you want to sit and have a beer with. Meanwhile, John Kerry probably wants a glass of expensive wine whose name you can't even pronounce. And it worked. Why? Because they understand, the Republicans somehow understood that working class voters are in an us versus them mindset. And they're in that mindset because it truly is us versus them. And the reason a centrist Democrat cannot win is because they keep siding with the them instead of the American public. They want to say that no, there is no big rift, and this is according to Piketty, between the working class and the top 1%. That doesn't exist. It's not the 99 versus the 1. We're all in this, together. You guys are no different. You might make it there some way, someday. But until then, let's all hold hands with one another and just try to be nice. And that's why you have certain candidates right now who are doing very well. Your Sanders and your Warrens, because they're not out there saying, oh, don't blame Wall Street for your ills. They're saying, correctly so, according to Piketty, that this system that we have set up in this United States is set up to hold you down, to lift up those who are already lifted and to oppress those who are already oppressed. Bernie and Elizabeth Warren are out there saying this. Bernie is saying it in very explicit terms. Elizabeth Warren is really saying it through her policies. Bernie has no problem just saying, no, they're holding you down. They're screwing you over. And that's why a far left progressive Democrat does have a better shot at beating Donald Trump than a corporatist, than a centrist. That's what the data that Piketty looked at over the last 70 years shows us. That's where we are today as a country. And we overlook it at our own peril, Democrats. We've got a hell of a primary going on right now. We don't even start voting until January. But remember this data. Remember what it tells us. Because if we put up another corporate centrist Democrat, get ready for another replay of 2016. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.